We are glad that our crews are inside this morning too, and we have so much to tell you about with all of the games happening this weekend. 'Cause it's not just, the championship. We do have some other events that are heading our way too.
Oh my gosh, yes, and it's going to be a cold week for sure. A weekend, we know for sure. Sean is in for Matt this morning, and don't expect IU fans to be the only ones at this game.
No.
Ohio State, not too far away.
Yeah, and they travel. They travel, so it is going to be fun. And we're excited about it. You may not be too excited about this weather. Oh my goodness, we broke some records here across parts of the state here this morning. Not in Indy, we were down in the teens. You see the big spread. Look at that. Lafayette 1 below this morning at this hour. Crawfordsville sitting at 1, 0 in Kokomo. Carmel now at 10, was as cold as 3 earlier. 18 at the Indy airport. And this is why. We've got this low cloud deck that's serving as a blanket for right now, but where it's not, that's where we're seeing these numbers drop. Terre Haute now dropping, had clouds earlier, and this cloud deck is drifting toward the east. So we may see the metro area temperatures fall back down again if this continues before the sun comes up here in just a little bit. Either way, here's your temperature and wind chill forecast for today. We will get into some sunshine. If it's not there this morning, by this afternoon, you should have some good sun. Let's get you ready for tomorrow. Before the football game, IU fans get to go to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, taking on Louisville Cardinals there. Some snow showers expected kind of scattered across the area tomorrow. And then here's what we're expecting downtown tomorrow evening. Lower 30s, kind of cloudy. Might still have a few flurries kind of spitting at us as well. Good luck. Should be a lot of fun. Now let's get you updated on the traffic here this morning at 6:02. And thankfully it has been relatively quiet. Of course, we haven't gotten to the rush hour just yet, but the pavement's dry for now. This is the south split. This is going to be a pinch point for a lot of the fans coming up from Louisville. And then we've got you at I-74 here at State Road 267. So far, so good. If we see anything changing here, we'll certainly let you know that. I can't rule out some patchy freezing fog developing in those areas that are clear and very, very cold here this morning.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Your time right now, 6:02 this morning. We're learning that a woman is dead and a suspect recovering after a shooting on the city's east side.
This happened last night in the Irvington neighborhood. Police tell us someone tried to rob Josephine's clothing store on East Washington just before 7. When officers arrived, they say they found the woman dead inside the store with a gunshot wound.
Police then found a man that they believe is a suspect. They say that he ran away, but they caught up with him nearby, armed with a gun. Officers say as they ordered him to drop the gun, he turned it on himself and shot himself. At last check, he was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
It's absolutely senseless. Right before the holidays, to come in and make decisions like this that is just life-altering and life-ending for some people.
City County Councilor Andy Nielsen, who represents this district, also says Irvington is resilient and is asking neighbors to look out for one another in times of need. Well, Indiana inmate Sarah Pender is set to be in a Marion County courtroom today. Online court records show that this is a modification hearing.
So Pender was convicted of murder in 2000 and 2008. She escaped from prison and was eventually captured in Chicago. Her hearing starts at 9.
Well, a man is due in court this afternoon for a deadly shooting inside a Fisher's bar. McLean Mert is now the man charged with murder and armed robbery after the shooting inside the Britain Tavern early Monday morning. And court documents also just filed yesterday revealed this whole thing started as an argument over a vape pen between the two men. Police say Mert thought the victim, Justin Burton, stole his friend's vape. He later admitted to shooting Burton. Well, the Indiana House of Representatives is set to vote on redistricting later today.
This comes after hours of debate yesterday, but still no actual changes to the bill made it through. Marina Silva is breaking down why that is and what we should expect to see today. Good morning, Marina.
Good morning, ladies. Well, after hours of Democrats proposing amendments to the redistricting bill and maps, Not a single change was voted through, meaning the maps that get voted on today are the same maps we've been talking about all week. Some of those proposed changes including putting the proposed map on the ballot to let voters decide if it should be used. Indiana doesn't put public questions on its ballot. Another amendment said if the proposed map passed, it couldn't be used until Hoosiers' electricity costs were among the 25% lowest in the nation, and wait lists for child care funding to help families in need had been eliminated. The largest amendment of all proposed taking the map drawing process out of lawmakers' hands altogether and instead letting Indiana's nonpartisan legislative services agencies draw it.
It's time to return back to some semblance of order. And let's just stop all this craziness that's sweeping the nation. The eyes are upon us for the moment. We have an opportunity to make a real statement. We have an opportunity to say we are going to lead the way to a better way.
Republican State Representative Ben Smoltz is the author of the bill. He says amendments would be a great place for Congress to start to change the current system across the board. So again, that bill and that map, it's going to get voted on today in the House. If it passes out of the House, then it will go to the Senate, and then we'll see what happens once it gets to the Senate, but that wouldn't be till next week if it passes today.
So still a wait and see, although we know other states in different parts of the country are having different outcomes with this.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a conversation for at least the next couple weeks.
All right. Thank you, Marina.
Well, the Supreme Court is allowing Texas to use its new congressional map that's favorable to Republicans. That's where this redistricting debate really got started. The new Texas map is aimed at gaining the GOP up to 5 House seats next year. And this morning, Indiana school leaders say they are facing an unprecedented financial strain because of changes made by lawmakers this year.
That's according to a new survey that was released by a group called Indiana Coalition for Public Education. Half of the state's public schools responded to this survey, with 95% saying they're being negatively impacted by this year's property tax cuts. That coalition says those cuts may do more harm than good.
I would really hope that any Hoosier that sees this year will pay very close attention to how much or how little they save on their property taxes and ask, is this worth doing significant harm to public education in our state?
Well, school districts, on the other hand, say that they need more money. They're saying increases of anywhere from 2 to 20% is needed to keep up with what they're asking for.